Hey there, everybody. This is Prime Animations coming to you with our third action figure review from the Transformers Siege Warfare Cybertron line. Today's action figure that we're going to be reviewing is Hound, the Army Vet. Cool character from G1. Had this cool ability to create certain holographic projections, which was pretty cool. Nice looking character. Remember him growing up. So let's go ahead and check out the box here. Just like the others, we've got a nice little artistic illustration here of the character. If we go over to the back, again, we've got the character in his robot form and in his vehicle form. What I like about his vehicle form is that he looks like a futuristic Humvee almost. He's very different from his Jeep. Yet when he transforms, he still keeps the very, very similar aesthetic appeal of the Jeep transformation. Like it looks like if it were a Jeep, only it's a Humvee. So it's a pretty cool character, pretty cool design. Can't wait to crack it open and check him out. Again, design on the side, logo up at the top, and at the bottom, all the copyright information along with the barcode. So let's go ahead and crack this guy open and see what he's about. All right, so here we are with Hound in his vehicle mode. It's almost like I thought it was a Humvee. But it's kind of like a hybrid Humvee with a Jeep because it's got the open canopy here. But pretty cool looking vehicle mode. Again, sleek design. Even though it's a bulkier car, there is some aerodynamics to it. I must admit that I had some issues transforming this character. So this piece right here that connects to the legs, essentially makes up the inner and outer part of the leg, kept popping off for me on both sides. One side a little bit more than the other. So that was a little bit discouraging. I did actually have to go to the instruction manual to transform this character or this figure, where in the previous two I didn't have that. I was able to transform it without the directions. So that might be a little bit of a challenge for children, where they would constantly have to revert back to the instruction manual. I did have some issues with the arms underneath, getting them to get into place. As you can see here, there's two little areas where the shoulders can fit into. I think I was having some issues getting those locked in there. And, one thing I will say in comparison to the other two vehicles that we did, everything seems to click in its place. This one has a little bit of room for improvement. So I did the robot, even though in the video, the vehicle clip is going to come before the robot clip. And at the end of the robot clip, you're going to hear me give this a B. After transforming this, I'm actually going to lower it to a C. I'm not going to want to transform this a whole lot, to be quite honest with you, based on how difficult it was, based on how things were popping off. But it is a cool looking vehicle. I'm going to admit that. As far as the look of it, I really like it. Again, I like this army color green. He's got his two weapons that are able to mount, and this little piece back here that was, I guess, like a barrel on this gun comes and fits back here. But a nice design. I like the vehicle mode. When I compare him to, again, the classics one, I actually had less of a harder time. I was able to transform this quicker without any instructions, obviously. So, again, this is your classic version of a Jeep. What I like about it, it's got the two seats. We kind of got that same thing happening here. It looks like there's seating here, or at least it gives it that look. So classic Army Jeep versus futuristic Humvee. I like this one in vehicle mode better. In robot mode, it takes the cake. In vehicle mode, it does take the cake. However, transformation, I do give it to this classic version. It was a little bit easier and not everything popped off like in this case. I shouldn't say everything, but like I said, these two pieces right here, if I open this up here, and it might pop off. See, there it goes. it popped off. That's the issue that I've had with this figure. This piece right here seems to pop off very, very easily. And to put it back, it is a pain in the neck. So I'm just going to do a quick temporary fix there for now. Taking this character out and comparing it to the other two of the line, right? We've got Prowl and Sideswipe. Again, their weapons fit on the top. Again, with these two, I think it doesn't go. Having a weapon mounted on the top, it doesn't go. For the Jeep, it does go because you could have something like that on a Jeep, right? On a military vehicle. I've seen plenty of military vehicles have a like, for instance, a 50 cal on the back part of it, right? So for this particular character, having the weapons mounted in vehicle mode, not a problem for me. On these two, looks unnatural. So that's one thing that I will give the previous line is that, the weapon is able to mount somewhere underneath it. It's able to, collapse or fold up, and it would serve as the engine or some type of a component. But what I did want to show you, like, for instance, here, when I talked about everything fitting in its place, look at this. Like, even with these doors, see, there's a piece here with an open piece here that fits in so that this vehicle is as secure as it can be, which I really like. And it's the same thing here with Prowl, right? With Hound, I don't get that same thing. Maybe I haven't transformed it correctly. I don't know. I mean, I followed the instructions on how it's supposed to go, and maybe I did something wrong. But I don't know. You guys let me know if I did not transform this correctly and what I got to do to fix it. But so far, based on what I've seen, the transformation of it really has taken this figure down from a B that I had given it before down to a C. So tell me what you guys think in the comments section. We're gonna go over to the action figure review in the video, and then my kids will review the playability of this action figure in comparison to the others. All right, so here is the character in robot form. Again, I really like the way this character looks. Very reminiscent to the G1 line. Getting into the figure itself, just like the other two that I did, very sturdy. Really impressed with this line, even though I was hesitant to get it at first, just because, I mean, how many versions of the same character can I have? But like I said, it's been very sturdy. As you can see, there's nothing moving, nothing flimsy about it. It's a good solid piece. Your usual articulation right over at the shoulder, elbow joints. You can slightly rotate the wrist. Here at the pelvic area, you've got some knee rotation, right? You got a little bit of a foot. Not a whole lot, because it looks like there's a hinge there and it's just to go in place, but nonetheless, no issues there with posing him or standing him. It comes with two weapons, right? You got this one over here, and you got this nice little piece over here. So he's got comes with two weapons, and I think one of these can mount on, it looks like, on his shoulders. Maybe both of them can, not really quite sure. So again, cool looking action figure. I really like how he looks. I'm gonna go ahead and bring over the classic version of this character. Now, many of you folks might be wondering, why am I comparing it to the classics version and maybe not the combiner wave that was released more recently? Never really got into the combiners. Even though I am a huge fan of combiners, I don't think that everybody should be a combiner. I think that was something unique to these particular subgroup of characters. So here's the character. As you can see immediately, there's a different shade of green. And I actually have to hold him up because he doesn't really stand all too good. I hope I have him transformed correctly. As you can see, look, just by holding him up, his legs are all wobbly. This has happened to almost all the characters that I have in this particular toy line. So it's good to see that the Siege for Cybertron is not suffering from that problem. But as you can see, the appeal of the character is still pretty much the same. The back piece creates the leg, the hood, and the front of the car is the chest area. We have pretty much the same thing going on here. But again, I can't. There he goes. Finally posed. Finally got him to stand. When I look at the durability of the character, and this line is just being really, really superior. As a matter of fact, it's putting this line to shame. And this was my favorite line, aside from the Prime characters or the Prime toy line. So, really nice looking action figure. I'm gonna go ahead and compare it now to the others that we've got from the line. We've got Prowl there, and now we've got Sideswipe. As you can see, he looks a little bit shorter than Sideswipe, and probably about the same size as Prowl. It's like very minute, the difference in height, but they're all around the same height. Which is really good, right? I really like the fact that they're all around the same height. They should be. None of them should be super big or super small in comparison to one another. So so far, like I said, I really like this line. It's something that has been cool to open up and just see the quality of the action figures. Hasbro's doing a really great job. Another solid B, in my opinion, B plus. For this action figure. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up and hand it over to my kids so they can play around with the action figure and give you their thoughts and their review on this particular piece. All right, so here we are with the kids' review of Hound. Again, we've got Kevin in the middle, we've got Alex over on my right, and Justin over on my left. So guys, you guys had a chance to play with the Hound character? Mm-hmm. Okay. Kevin, go ahead and start off. What are your thoughts on the Siege character?
He was pretty boxy, and his legs kept falling off when I was transforming him.
Okay, but boxy in this particular case isn't too bad because his vehicle is a Humvee. So a Humvee is very boxy. So that kind of would fit for that particular vehicle and that character. So that's not too big of a deal. Whereas, like for instance, in Prowl and Sideswipe, their cars, their vehicle modes are aerodynamic, right? So they're a lot sleeker. So that's not too bad. As far as the legs kept falling off, you said, right? Yeah. I had that same issue when I was transforming this character. Anything else that you would like to add as far as the differences between the classic version and the Siege version?
Well, this one was kind of confusing to transform, but it wasn't too difficult. This one was more difficult.
Okay, so you found the classic version more difficult to transform. Okay, that's interesting. Alex, what about you? Do you have any comments regarding?
This one was so easy to transform. In 2 seconds, I almost got it transformed.
Okay, so you had ease with the classic version, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, great. What about as far as playability? Did you get a chance to play with the two characters?
Him, not really, but I got to play with him a lot. He has this cool little blaster right here.
Okay, so he's got a cool little blaster. Yes, this version of Hound has some blasters on him too. What I did like about the Hound, what I like about the classic version was that their guns can usually fit underneath, and be concealed within vehicle mode. In Hound, I'm okay with the weapons being on the vehicle mode because it's a Jeep. We've seen military Jeeps that have weapons on them, so I'd be okay with that. Justin, what about you? What do you think?
This one looks really cool, and this one looks like a war machine. This one is pretty fun to play with, easy to transform.
So you found also the classic version easy to transform, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then you said this one looks cooler. You find the design on this one cooler than on this one?
No, I'm just saying it just looks cool, and this one looks like a war machine.
He looks like a war machine. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, he's a military vehicle. He should look like a war machine. Actually, I like the fact that he looks like a war machine. Cool. Okay, going back to our ratings, A, B, C, D, F. Kevin, what do you give the Siege figure? What rating would you give it?
Probably a B minus.
B minus. Okay. Alex, what?
This one a B.
This one you give a B. Okay. Justin?
B.
A B. There you go. I personally gave this rating a C. just because when I transform it, number one, I actually needed the instructions. I had a difficult time transforming him. And then when I did, like Kevin, the legs kept popping off every single time, which I don't like when things pop off. So I gave this particular figure a C. I originally had given it like a good solid B, but due to that, I dropped it down to a C. I like the character's overall look, though. He fits nicely in line with the other characters. Cool. Well, to the fans out there, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. If you've picked up this figure and you've played with it, give us your thoughts on it. Till next time.